Today's video, we are going to talk about the drawbacks of manual conversion uploads to track conversions on and through your Google Ads account. So if you don't know already, there are two basic overall ways to track conversions. That is leads, sales, all the stuff that you're normally supposed to track with your ad campaigns. To get more of that, you can actually track a phone call or a cart purchase or any of it through automatically feeding data through software of some sort into your ad account, or you could do it via manual means. That is uploading a spreadsheet basically of conversion events. Usually this so-called manual way of uploading conversions to your ad account is predicated around tracking sales that don't normally come through your shopping cart on a website if you're a product seller, and then uploading those extra sales there, or tracking leads that you know are good quality versus bad quality leads in some regard, and then importing the good leads to your ad account so your ad account gets the information about the good leads, not the bad leads that you don't want any more of. So the ads can steer and course correct in the general direction where you're profitable and continuously more and more profitable and more efficient over time. I talk about all the time how important manual uploading of conversions in those two instances is going to make you at least 3 times as much profit from your ad account by doing that versus neglecting to do that for yourself because you're lazy and or arrogant about what you're doing as a business owner. Definitely drawbacks to doing the manual upload process itself, or what I typically call offline conversion tracking, which is what Google calls offline conversion tracking. It's not the same way that it always has been. So if you're going to do it and get the full advantage out of it, you need to understand the new updates to the manual process, and also talk about why you want to do this manual process to start with, other than the fact that you're going to make 3 times as much profit for what you're doing once you do it, unless every single purchase goes through your shopping cart, nobody ever buys anything offline, and just that's it at the end of the day. If you have a business like that, offline conversion tracking, potentially you don't have a problem with it. But even then, if you sell something for over $100, you should be doing offline conversion tracking anyway, because people are going to call and ask questions. And if they call and ask questions and you force them to go back to the website to finish their purchase, you're going to lose purchases. People will say they're going to do it and then they're not. You want to lock that guy down and get the purchase on the phone because you'll get a higher compliance rate. And then of course you should be taking phone calls. If you want to be a business that doesn't take a damn phone call, you're going to end up losing, because your business is apt to be copied and taken over by somebody else when you don't actually have any human element to what you're doing. Why can't some other guy that has less overhead just copy your entire business model, set it up on some website server, and then charge a little bit less than you and take all your customers? Yes, they could do that and hire humans to answer the phones and whatnot, but I can tell you from firsthand experience, people don't want to copy those businesses. It's too hard to copy on scale. The human element is what your barrier to entry in the market truly is. So with that said, I'm going to go over the manual conversion upload process, what you need to do with it nowadays, why you want to do it, why you're going to make a lot more money from it once you do it. I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, a online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results to their clients. That is, we do not charge management fees until we get a certain lift in profitability from our clients' ads up front. We are the only agency on the planet who offers any kind of contingency offer at all with their services, which should tell you something about the quality of the services that we're giving to clients at our firm. And furthermore, the information that you're receiving on this particular video, how good of quality it actually is. To start off with here, due to privacy changes on iOS devices, Apple devices in other words, the typical ways to do offline conversion tracking inside Google Ads doesn't actually work anymore. The typical process that you had before to do, like if you have somebody that calls you put their order through a virtual credit card processing terminal at your place of business. You ask for their credit card number, you process their order. You don't have them go through the website to place their order so that you can lock down a higher percentage of the orders, like I told you, you'll certainly do if you have that set up, so you can parlay the phone call into an immediate order versus they'll say their order and then, oh, the phone rang, I forgot, oh, now the order isn't there. to get that conversion event order that came through the telephone into your ad account so the ad account can steer the ads properly for you. And with that, bigger orders are going to typically come through the phone. If you do take phone orders, by the way. So if you don't get those phone orders back into your account, your ads are going to actively optimize for the smallest, least profitable where to get a customer from. And that's why you're not going to make nearly as much money from Google Ads when you neglect to upload those conversions. But the way that you used to do it, fairly simple, which Google always had a serial number naming system to every ad click that comes through their platform. Anybody who's clicked on an ad, they've had a string of numbers and letters that's tied to that individual ad click, and it's on a server somewhere that Google has, and all the information about that person who clicked the ad is stored. What you do with offline conversion tracking, or what you did in the past, was to simply capture that code when somebody had initially called in, filled out the form, whatever, so that if you know that person later on bought from you through the phone, whatever, you would then reverse engineer that initial call that came in, which the initial call you were able to capture that Google Click ID is what Google calls that serial number. Give that serial number back to Google through a manual process of just where you could take a spreadsheet, upload it to Google through their system, say this serial number had actually bought, here's how much they spent, and then they would actually show up, have the data show up in your account where that purchase came from, time of the day of the week, the keyword, the ad, all of it. And that's how it worked, basically. You technically, by the way, could have took the Google Click ID and upload it to your ad account through automated means if you have some sort of sophisticated system, so that when the offline purchase that comes through the telephone, that Google Click ID gets to Google Ads through some sort of software that you may be using. But with that said, that was always the way that you would track those offline purchases. Or how you would track, like if you have a home services business and you want to track the sales you get from all the customer appointments you go to and how much people are spending to get it back into your ad account, you would grab the Google Click ID, you'd say this Google Click ID bought this at this price, and then boom, your ad account would have that information there on the ad level, keyword level, time of the day level, day of the week level, city level, on and on and on for you to optimize your ads with. That's still, for the most part, how Google does it. However, like I was mentioning just a minute ago here, the big change is Google cannot get information on Google Click ID from iOS devices now. Technically, if you're wondering how you got the Google Click ID to start with, if you click on any Google ad, you can go ahead and pause this video and try it for yourself. Click on any ad, Google ad, and then look at the URL of the page that you're taken to. It'll have at the end of the URL, $Gclid _= XRJ912, whatever. That's your Google Click ID. When you use call tracking programs like CallRail or whatnot, when somebody calls, that call tracking program can grab that Google Click ID from the URL and store it, so that when somebody later on buys, you will have it on file and ready to give back to Google. For somebody who fills out a contact form that then later buys, you could grab that Google Click ID using what is called a hidden form field on your contact form. The call tracking provider uses to grab the Google Click ID when the person calls. It all worked great until now, unless the customer or prospect that you're trying to sell to or selling to had an iOS device. If they're on an iOS device, now, instead of that Google Click ID there being in the URL, at the end of the URL like it typically always was, this is not there anymore, okay? What you will find instead, if you're already doing this, basically for the phone calls that come in, phone call tracking on every campaign we run, because you can't get good results with ads if you don't track your leads coming in. Unless you're selling something super high demand and very low competition, and even then you'll get more results. So it makes no sense not to track leads coming in / all your sales coming in. But we'll use a CallRail account to grab that Google Click ID. And then normally in CallRail, under each call record will have the Google Click ID. Now what you'll find, if the user's from an iOS device, it'll actually, instead of the Google Click ID, it'll have a GBRAID or WBRAID instead of that Google Click ID, which, if you do things like we normally did, which was to take once a month, we'll collect all the sales we made that last month, like if it's an HVAC company, once a month we'll get a list of all the customers who bought from them in the last month. We'll find all those similar people in CallRail, find the original call-in number, the call record that they called in on, get the Google Click ID, put it into a spreadsheet, upload it to Google. Now we can find the call record in CallRail, but the Google Click ID isn't there, but the GBRAID or WBRAID is there, depending on what device they're on. You'll get one or the other. And so that sale that we got, it originated from Google Ads because the source of the call in CallRail will say Google Ads or not, or some other source. We won't be able to upload that sales event, our Google Ads account, in that situation. So what is the workaround so that we can track the full amount of purchases? If you're wondering, by the way, where the Google Click ID is going to show and the GBRAID or WBRAID will show instead, it varies by market. The markets where you would have a higher percentage of mobile traffic, you're going to get a higher percentage of no Gclid. We've seen where it's only 50% of the time available to 90% of the time available. And most businesses are going to be around 80-90% of the time that the Google Click ID will be there. 80% still, you should be settling for no 80% long term, I should say, out of all the stuff you can do to optimize your business and ad campaigns, if you're not happy with your results and you don't know what else to do, just give better conversion data into your ad account and you're going to get more money. The more data, the better quality of the data of conversion data you have going into your account, the more profit you will make. This isn't to be disputed. You can't argue with me on this. I've set up hundreds of accounts with various levels of tracking. I know how much of a difference more data, better quality data always makes. It's the easiest, straightforward way to make more money that there is. There's no, I wonder if this ad with this thing is going to do better than this. No, just get the better data in there and you make more money, period. People don't like it because it takes work and it's kind of confusing. And it's not that confusing to get set up. You can have an employee do the uploads. Once you give them a video on how to do it once a month and you're done. So if you want a turnkey way to make more money, and you're doing these offline conversions already, which you may not be doing and you should, if you want to make the extra 3 times the available profit out of that Google Ads account that you have, because you're optimizing on a profit level, not no damn cost per lead level, or just tracking cart purchases and not the offline purchases, so that the ad system that Google has is going to optimize for the wrong completely. You want to make more money, yet you're telling Google, oh, I'm too lazy to do anything other than just the bare minimum here in terms of giving you data. You can't complain one damn bit that Google's greedy or whatever you want to say if you're not already given the maximum amount of data that you possibly can. If you want to get the extra 20% of data in there, then you have to use a workaround, okay? The workaround is you are not going to upload manually your conversions to your ad account anymore through using a spreadsheet methodology that we would typically use. The reason why we use spreadsheets so much to upload our conversions is because we can manually verify a sale occurred. Because a lot of times what happens, if we're going to track sales from a cleaning services campaign we're running, the client will provide the list of customers for the last month. When we're trying to find them in CallRail, the person who bought isn't the exact same person or called from a new number originally. And we want to be able to do a little bit of investigation to find the original call so we can find the originating Google Click ID. It'll be the wife that calls, and then the husband is the one who bought, or it's an employee who initially turned into a lead, but then it was another employee that bought. A manual process with a human involved will actually get you the best result because of that. But if you have no other option to automatically upload your conversions through using a CRM system integration, which is the basic way that you do that, where if somebody buys, that automatically it sends that Google Click ID to Google Ads directly. When you mark somebody sold in your site CRM, it would automatically do that. That's not going to get you the best results because of the situations that I just described. I really am not a big fan of CRM integration with your Google Ads account to track offline purchases because of what I said. You could still, manual uploading when you have the GBRAID or WBRAID does not work. You cannot take the offline conversion upload sheet, put a GBRAID or WBRAID on it, it won't work. However, Google will accept GBRAID or WBRAID in replacement of Gclid if you're going to use the Google Ads API to upload that conversion, okay? And with that, you can use a simple CallRail account to, instead of having to have some scripting to deal with the Google Ads API to send your offline conversion data through that, use your CallRail account. CallRail uses the conversion Google Ads API. So you don't have to have no sophisticated thing to still get the extra missing conversion data into your ad account. So you get 100% of the offline conversions you can find in your CallRail account because you're using the CallRail account integration with Google Ads. Because ultimately what this is if you're using a CallRail account, you use the CallRail to Google Ads integration, okay? Then when you find a customer bot and you want to send that event to Google Ads and you're using it, and then you take that customer's name that you see in your QuickBooks account, find it in CallRail to find the Google Click ID. If there's no Google Click ID there and there's WBRAID, so you can't upload it to Google Ads manually in the conversion menu manually, you can actually use the CallRail account integration that CallRail has with Google Ads to send that event to them. And there's several ways to do that using keypad scoring and so forth, which I'll talk about in a minute in detail how to do this. But this is actually getting to be better as a whole, doing things the way that I'm about ready to describe here than doing the manual upload, because it's going to get you the maximum amount of offline conversions uploaded to your account. Even if the GBRAID or WBRAID is there instead of the Google Click ID, you're going to still be able to upload that offline conversion to your account either way. With that said, if you have not subscribed to this channel and you're serious about making money, big money with your ads, you want to subscribe to this channel already, because 99% of the information you're going to find elsewhere online, on YouTube, online, on blogs and so forth, it's all produced by ghostwriters or people that are getting second, third hand information from other people that don't actually manage any ads, or they manage a couple ads. If you are serious about making money, you got to get the information straight from the source on somebody who manages dozens, if not hundreds of campaigns, to actively know on an ongoing basis what really actually works and what doesn't. Not maybe this works and Google says this. No, you need to know how. You got to do stuff with ads to know what actually works. And that's my full-time job at our advertising firm. I don't even do all the work. I just do the strategy into testing and find out what works. There is no better source of information as a result of that out there, period. And nobody else that does ad strategy has a YouTube channel and shares what they're saying. They should, but they don't. So if you want that information, you want to subscribe to this channel. You also want to check out my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog has the actual strategies that we're also actually using to guarantee clients results. So if you want to see that really good information, you can check that out. You can get a lot more information than what's available on this channel by itself through the video content I have for you on this channel. So you should check that out as well. Most of the people who like the videos on this channel like the blog as well. But to get back to the topic at hand here, if you have the CallRail to Google Ads integration set up, you see a call that came in your CallRail account, and you know that person bought and they spent $999, let's say, and you want that information to go into Google Ads, you can use the Google Ads account that you have, smart bidding that optimizes for maximized conversion value bidding, which uses revenue, the revenue to optimize your ads and profit to optimize your ads, not whether a lead came in or not. You can go into, one of the ways that you do this is you go into the value box under that call record and you just enter $999. And that information can pass, you'll be able to have an automated goal. When you set up the CallRail to Google Ads integration, there'll be an automated goal that gets set up to track every phone call that came from Google Ads that pops up in your conversion menu. That goal, instead of just saying conversion value 0, if you put $999 in that value box, the value will say $999 after you fill in the value box. It'll just pipe it right in. So you basically are able to upload the offline sales event to your Google Ads account through CallRail to Google Ads integration that you set up itself. And then utilizing the value box as a way to upload the revenue, versus what we were doing mostly before was to have a spreadsheet with the conversion value in it and then uploading it that way. Okay? But that's not the only way that you can upload conversion data to your Google Ads account, even if you don't have the Google Click ID and you have the WBRAID or GBRAID. The other way you could do is through keypad scoring. You can actually, through the CallRail to Google Ads integration, decide what's got to basically happen for a conversion event to actually get sent to Google Ads, okay? One of the ways that we've done it in the past is give our client keypad scoring, turning that on. So basically at the end of the call, they're training their sales staff to hit 9, and then immediately after hitting 9, they can hit 1 if the call was qualified, 2, use that to send conversion data into Google Ads, okay? You can also use that to, in terms of the sales value, to pipe the information through that mechanism itself, which I don't like that too much, because salespeople are going to forget to score the calls. When it comes to getting results with your ads, you cannot have the data going in 80% of the time and expect to get the results you want because they forgot to score the call 20% of the time. The more you can take human error out of it, obviously the better. Like I mentioned before, humans can verify things and make sure that it works outside of pure automation can provide your business itself. However, if you have a trained person that's their only job is to make sure the conversion data goes into the account properly, not a salesperson in charge of this, you'll get better results because they give it more, basically, at the end of the day. You can also send the data to Google Ads about your offline conversion that occurred through the value box. I talked about that. You can do this through the thumbs up on CallRail. Under the call, they have the thumbs up, thumbs down, and you can have it to where if you thumb up a call, that conversion data gets sent to Google Ads, but if it's not thumbed up, it won't get sent. So you can literally have it to where only a call conversion goes to Google Ads even if it's not marked thumbs up, just so that you know, just as a small side, since I'm already talking about it. Or you could have that phone tracking goal only trigger is set up through the CallRail to Google Ads integration if that thumbs up is applied. And that thumbs up could only be applied if you know it's a validated qualified lead, not just a phone call that occurred, but a qualified lead that you know is qualified. You want more calls like that moving forward, okay? The other way you could do it is through conversion intelligence. Conversion intelligence is CallRail's system or feature where they'll look for keywords within your call. It's an active extra $50 a month, but you could put in there and say, hey, if any calls come in and the customer says anything about billing or price or quote or appointment or credit card, whatever you want, it'll then send a conversion event to Google Ads if any of that happened, but not if that did not happen. You can also do a combination thereof where the keypad scoring says that this is a good lead, or conversion intelligence says it's a good lead, then it sends a conversion data or conversion event. So you have a backup for your keypad scoring, which is what I highly recommend if you're going to do keypad scoring and let the sales staff tell Google if a conversion happened or not. So you can do a mix of these different things and have fail safes basically to the best conversion data stream going into your Google Ads account as possible. Anyway, that's how you can get an offline conversion event into your Google Ads account, completely taking out Google Click ID. CallRail to Google Ads integration is going to send conversion data from CallRail to Google Ads to the Google Ads API. See how this all works now? By the way, I know this is still probably a little bit confusing. The best way to do things with your conversion tracking is to just deal with somebody who's done it 100 times. This is what we do for clients. And not only that, the tracking you have has to consistently be audited, tested. You can't just assume your tracking is going to work for the next 10 years automatically. It's not the way that it works. It consistently needs tested every month. And a lot of times the tracking won't break outright. It'll be intermittent. So you got to be able to diagnose if it's only working 50% of the time, 60% of the time. And with half of your results on Google Ads predicated on the conversion data quality that you have, and that's literally what we're talking about here. And why work so hard on making your ads good if you're not going to get the conversion data set up right? Your best bet is just to go to a company, that's all they do, or you know for sure they know how to set up advanced conversion tracking systems like this that actually knows and takes this stuff seriously. Because most firms that you're going to talk to that does even PPC ads out there, they don't even know how to set up conversion tracking right. And if they do, they're never talking about offline conversion tracking, never, or basically never. And you got to take it seriously, and you have to go to somebody else who takes it seriously, and it's worth it to do it every time, because it should be obvious if you optimize for cheap phone calls versus profit, information about sales revenue that occurred through your leads or that occurred offline to your account to have the best data possible, or the profit that you got on a certain job. You actually import, this is the profit I made on this job after expenses and so forth, and then use that to steer your ads with. You obviously are going to do much, much better, because the cheapest calls are never, ever, ever going to be the best quality calls. It can't possibly be that way. Can't. If you want real results, you got to then tell Google what was successful for you. Really successful, not maybe it was successful and just settling for that because you're just throwing away a ton of money. And if your goal is to make $5 million a year in sales from your Google Ads account with $1 million a year in profit, you'll get there 3 times faster with the right conversion data coming in. So do you really want it to take that long? The conversion data accelerates the entire process. This is what we do for clients. If you want somebody that you know for sure takes it seriously, knows how to do it, we can do it for you. We can also give you an estimate of increase in profitability it would get for you, and which we could guarantee it will get for you doing it, as well as other methods that we can use on top of it to make your ads better. This is what we do for clients that are firm. And I mentioned that we're the only kind of firm that does a guarantee like that for our clients, and we would do it for you as long as we know we can get results with what you're doing, obviously. But if you're interested in that, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about the opportunity itself. We also sell ad templates. If we've already got results in your niche market already, you could literally just buy the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates that work for your niche market, copy paste that all into your ad account and get the same results we've gotten in a different geographic market that you're in. We got people that use these templates to start whole other businesses. It's the easiest way to start a business, starting with a template to sell an item or a service that we already know sells and sells at a profitable rate using a certain campaign funnel. We got people using these templates to sell leads to different businesses as well. They're so efficient. So anyway, if you're interested in any of those other opportunities, you can also reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. With all that said here, okay, just know the average that we're going to get at our firm in terms of increase in profitability or speed to get to a certain level of profitability with our account, doing full offline conversion tracking to optimize the ads on the profit level versus just tracking leads / if more than 10% of the sales through our website is occurring offline, we're going to get 3 times as much profitability from that ad account tracking all the sales all the way. Mainly, like even in the situation with e-commerce businesses that do a lot of offline sales, because the biggest orders typically are going to come through offline. And so your account optimizes for smaller orders. Of course, you're going to lose so you shouldn't settle for that in your business. The other thing is with your CallRail account, if you use CallRail to upload your offline conversion events to Google Ads account, you can actually easily do this for your text leads. I've talked about in several videos how much more money you can make offering and allowing your prospective customers or clients text instead of filling out a contact form or calling, because a lot of people don't like doing either of those. And the more options you offer somebody to respond, the more leads you're going to get, basically bottom line. That goes, by the way, also with having live chat on your site, done by real human, by the way, not bots, or not fully by bots. The initial reply can be a bot. But with that said, do the same thing with that. You can do the same thing with form fills. CallRail has a live chat feature, which I'm looking into now as well, to start using that more versus Live Chat Inc., which is what we were using for most other clients. But basically, reason why I bring this up is that if you want to send an offline conversion event to Google Ads when you hit thumbs up on your calls, and you'd like to have the ease of doing that same thing for form fills, texts, you can do that all within CallRail now as well. So you can do all your offline conversion tracking through all lead sources through your CallRail account and just hitting the thumbs up on all lead sources. CallRail is brilliant. They've understood that CallRail can be an actual lead center for your business. Every single lead goes in there. You can thumbs up which ones are qualified or turn into a sale. That goes into your ad account. That steers your ads. That's the easiest way to do offline conversion tracking because it's all in one place. You don't have to check one place for forms, one place for calls, which, by the way, it does a great job of tracking all the forms because once the CallRail code's on the entire website, you can get a copy of all the form leads inside your CallRail account. You got to activate form tracking, which is $50 a month extra, but it makes it possible to get all your form leads from every form on your site automatically once you've done that. Ultimately, the live chat's just going to take it to the next level. Being able to have every chat ready to go inside your CallRail account so that you can thumb up or thumb down it and send all chats that were qualified and potentially turn into a sale. That all gets sent to Google Ads once you just simply clicked thumbs up on that particular chat. Anyway, with that said, that pretty much spells up what I wanted to cover today about manual conversion tracking if you are still doing it, how to get the rest of the data given GBRAID and WBRAID is showing up in replacement of Google Click ID in today's environment. As a last thing to mention here, if you don't know what you should be doing with your ads, what platforms you should be running your ads on, should you be running ads at all? Will ads actually work? If you're struggling to make it work, you want to know if it's pointless doing what you're doing, and can ads actually be ran profitably for a product or service like yours? Or is it stupid to try to grow it anymore because what you got is already going to be, you picked all the low-hanging fruit and pointless to go and try to pick fruit that's higher up because it won't be profitable. I can do all that analysis for you. I've run hundreds and hundreds of campaigns and different accounts and for different products and services. I've seen over the years what works and what basically doesn't work, and on what platforms it typically works with what framing. It would be to your best interest if you're questioning yourself to hire me for an hour of coaching, and I can tell you exactly what I would do if it were my business, how I would market it, or I would just say screw it and I'd try to sell something else. With that coaching, I can actually break down how much you would basically stand to make if you were to proceed in going forward the right way, the way that will typically work for that product or service. I'm now offering that kind of coaching now at our firm. So outside of the management services we provide. We provide an hour of coaching to give you some sort of sanity check and let you know if you're even on the right track. Because what I realized is a lot of business owners, they start to say, oh, how do I make Google Ads work? Well, they shouldn't even have been running Google Ads in the first place, because what they have is not competitive enough to make any ads work. And what they needed to do was tweak what they're offering slightly, and then they were ready to run ads. And then instead of wasting all this time and all this money to figure out how to get Google Ads to work for this product, they should have went up another level and thought at a higher level about what they were doing first. I have great PPC knowledge, but I also have great business knowledge, because I talk to people about their businesses and the PPC, because you really got to understand both to understand if PPC is even going to work and how you should even do it. So we've been offering that. Reach out to me at my firm if you're interested in that service. I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you for watching.
Remember when I said offline conversion tracking was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.